Well, hello again, everyone. Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower, and we're back into our study on the secret book of John, and we're picking up on the heading, The Origin of Reality. Again, I'll just ask you and do everything short of begging you to subscribe to this channel, like and share these videos. We're on a real growth spurt, and we do want to keep that going. Later on today, I think 7 p.m. or so, keep an eye out. I'll be on the Vinnie Eastwood show that comes out of New Zealand. And I'm looking forward to being with Vinnie. It's always a good time. Now we're reading again from the secret book of John. This is from the Nag Hammadi Scriptures. And it says this: we would know nothing of the ineffable, nothing of the immeasurable, without the help of the one who comes forth from the one who is the Father. He alone has informed us. And I believe that this is speaking of the Christ. And this is why, even though there's no direct physical evidence of the existence of the Christ from an extra biblical point of view, and I wish there were, believe me, but there's just not any real proof that the Christ ever did actually live and walk among us. But I do believe from the biblical record that we have and from other records such as this, that the Christ did come and walk for a time there in Judea and perhaps other places. And I'm not drinking a White Russian. That's actually a cold brew coffee with some cream. But the Father is surrounded by light. He apprehends himself in that light, which is the pure stream of the water of life that sustains all realms. And that's fascinating to me, because the last great public discourse of the Christ, he stood and said, I am the water of life. Whosoever would like to drink, come to me and drink. And out of his belly will flow rivers of living water. And while the water is understandable as a symbol of purity and refreshing, when we understand that the light and the water are really simultaneous, then it's much easier to understand coming to the pure spring of the water of life, which is the light. Light is life, life is light. So when we come to the Christ and to the true understandings of the text that we read within the biblical text and within these other parabiblical texts that are also speaking words of life, they're really speaking words of light. So we are actually bringing in light. And there's many people, and I need to start doing this again. I fell off the wagon when I moved, getting involved in this sun gazing. And there are people that can get almost all their sustenance from the light in the air. They have to eat very little water, so not or food or water. And the idea is that light really is life, and life really is light. And this is being brought home to us here. And he, the Father, is conscious of his image everywhere around him. He's perceiving his image in this spring of spirit, pouring forth himself. He's enamored of the image he sees in the light water, in the spring of pure light water enveloping him. So when we're taking in the light, we're really taking in the refreshing of water, and the light and the water are really the same thing, and they're coming from the same source. And many people call the divine source the inexpressible one, right? They call that source. And it really is the source of all life and all light and all refreshing. And the self-aware thought came into being, appearing to him in this light, and she stood before him. Here's one of the big problems with Christianity, Roman Catholicism, Roman Protestantism, that they have intentionally, on purpose, I know it means the same thing, systematically taken the feminine out of the divine structure. And this just hit me. Since the feminine is reflective here of the mind of the Father, it makes even more sense that they wouldn't want us to be in touch with the feminine, because the feminine, the Sophia wisdom, the feminine wisdom, is what will bring us into balance in this age, in which will bring us the fullness of the Father. She, the Sophia feminine wisdom, is his image in his light, perfect in power, image of the invisible, perfect virgin or pure spirit. She is the initial power. Now, does that mean that the initial creative force of the divinity was female? Glory of Barbello, glorious among the realms, glory of revelation. She gave glory to the Virgin Spirit. She praised him, for she arose from him. This, the first thought, is the Spirit's image. Wow. Very deep stuff. And as we wonder again, was the actual initial creator female, feminine? We read that she is the universal womb. She is before everything. She is Mother, Father. She is first man. She is Holy Spirit. She is thrice male. She is thrice powerful. She is thrice named. Now, let's take a look at that. When you think about procreation of all the forms that we know about, there has to be a womb. And without the womb, there can't be any creation. Of course, without the sperm, there can't either. But wisdom, we're born out of wisdom. She is the universal womb. Wisdom is the universal womb. Wisdom is before everything. And when you think about it, you always think about it before you do anything. So wisdom, thought, does precede everything. And she is the Mother, Father. I read this as saying she is the completion of the Mother, Father, the balance that we need, both energetically throughout the universe and also as human beings, Mother, Father, female, male. She is the first man. Does that mean woman? She's the Holy Spirit. Now and this is why a lot of people get mad at me, and I think John Lash Lamb, the Gnostic fellow, he got very upset with me when I said that the organic light is talked about by John in the New Testament. And of course that would mean, because the organic light was a secret, it was hidden knowledge, it was only shared with initiates. So for John to have talked about the organic light in the New Testament, it would have meant that he was an initiate, or that he was told of the organic light by an initiate. I happen to think probably that the Christ was an initiate. John himself might have been an initiate, but he knew about the organic light, which is Sophia wisdom. But Mr. Lamb or Lamb Lash, I can't remember which one it is, wasn't real happy with that, because the organic light is a light that doesn't cast a shadow. And John talked about the perfect light within there is no shadow of turning. So to me it's pretty clear. But at any rate, in the New Testament, the Holy Spirit, the proto-okos, that's the Greek for Holy Spirit, is feminine. Thrice male, thrice powerful, thrice named. I have no idea what that means. Androgynous eternal realm. Okay, so that kind of tells us right there. We need to move our thinking out of the male-female paradigm. And when we're in a place of male and female, it's very hard to get out of that paradigm. But androgynous eternal realm, first to rise among the invisible realm, she, Barbello, asked the Virgin Spirit for foreknowledge, or for prognosis. The Spirit agreed. And foreknowledge came and stood forth by providence, This one came through the invisible virgin spirit thought, and foreknowledge gave glory to the Spirit, and to Barbello, the Spirit's perfect power, for she was the reason that it had come into being. Lots of deep, deep stuff there. Lots of very, very interesting stuff there. And I think we'll stop there for today as we have looked at the origin of reality. And it appears that wisdom is the origin. The Father is light, and that light is the water of life, which, of course, the Word, the Christ came saying the same message, and that the female Sophia wisdom is really the seed of everything, and it's possible that the first initial acts of creation were actually spawned by the female part of the inexpressible one rather than the male. Very, very interesting. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. We're putting out a lot of content. I'm really sensing the urgency, and we really want to step the pedal to the metal and do all we can. So I'd ask you to go on your social media, tell people about this channel, ask them to go ahead and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please do so. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. It's a little after 3 a.m., so I'm getting just a little bit punchy. But I am the Christian Whistleblower. JeffreyDaugherty.com, ChristianWhistleBlower.com, at Unindoctrinate on Twitter. And we're going to get back into our other studies that we were doing, Secret Teaching of All Ages, ISIS Unveiled, the Secret Doctrine, all of those great things, and we're going to be bringing them to you so we can expand our minds, unwind our minds, and of course, so we can unindoctrinate yourself.